would you get out? What was the homework? 7 and 8? 1C? 7 and 8? Page 7 and 8?
Yep.
Am I in the right class? I'm not even in the right class. I don't have the right PowerPoint up.
Now we're actually in AP.
Gotcha. Thursday. I think it's that one. We will find out shortly.
Mr. Sir, if you have an issue,
What's that?
come look at this.
Oh no.
No, it's can't move.
What am I looking at?
Well, you see here, number 12 on his says, no solution. 12 on mine says, it is right. So what is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
I got a solution.
No, it's check my answers. Keep going back and forth.
All right. So let's get out homework from last time, if you don't mind. Page 7 and 8. So I'm going to come by and mark it off for you, if y'all don't mind.
See that?
So is the week going okay for everybody? It's not too bad.
We only got 35 more weeks.
You know, I was hoping this year would take a lot longer, be long and drawn out. Just kidding. You did it over here. Perfect. And the only reason I was doing that is because, my goodness, the last 22 years of me teaching math have gone by so fast. I wanted things to slow down a little bit. All right. Riddle for the day. Y'all ready for this? Okay, so listen carefully. I will repeat it for you. And the disclaimer to this is there isn't any money that will be lost in this conversation I'm going to have right now. So no money is lost. Okay? So that won't be an answer. Ready? You and 2 of your friends. So a total of 3 of you. Still with me in this adventure? Good? You were on a trip. You decided to stop for the night at a small little hotel. You just went to the clerk and said, we need a room with 3 beds, please, for myself and my 2 other friends. Clerk said, awesome. I got a room for you. The room cost $30. Still with me? So everyone said, sweet. They each gave $10 each because there's 3 of you, and 3 times 10 is 30. Good, you're catching on well. So you and your 2 friends are now up in the room. You're like, hey, this is a nice room. This is cool. They got snacks. So you're hanging out. Well, a few minutes after you're in your room, the clerk comes in. I made a terrible mistake. The room on Thursday night is only $25. So, hang on. So everyone said, oh, okay. Well, why don't you give us each back $1 and keep the rest for a tip? So rather than paying $10 each for the room, they paid $9 each for the room, and that $2 tip. Well, 9 times 3 is 27. There's a $2 tip that makes it 29. Where'd that other dollar go?
Minibuy.
No.
Why would you? That one. Wait.
So no money was lost.
I've heard this photo before. I still can't.
Yeah, I was told. Did we have like stop? Okay, so.
No, stop. Mine's not done. Mine's not done. No, mine's not done.
Mine is
Wait.
I feel like that's
I
honestly think mine's better.
Yeah, nobody is.
$3.
See, mine is actually pure
And then the dude says keep the rest of the change. And that's $2.
What if the dude pocketed his money?
Can you put the lines to be a
No, it went to the county.
You really want to go there with coding and stuff?
Daily totals.
Did anybody have a solution?
Isn't there 3 people?
There are you and your 2 friends, so there's a total of 3 of you.
Yeah, so mine's only $2.
Well, because originally they each gave the clerk $1 each,
Yeah,
or $10 each, and that's 3 times 10 is 30.
yeah.
The clerk said it's only 25, so they said, oh, you know what, give us each back $1. So rather than paying 10 each, they paid 9 each.
Yeah, so that'd be 27.
Why is that?
Because it's 3 times 9.
Wait.
They paid extra for the room.
Yeah.
Because the room's only $25. So they paid extra
You're
for the room.
getting-
That's
okay,
why
you got it.
What is all of it? Yeah.
And then they had the other $2 gave to
Yeah,
the
they
guy.
There it is. There it
and
is.
tip.
There it is.
God.
So truly, so think about this. So it was awesome. So think about it. If they gave the clerk $2 tip and the room was 25, how much did the room really cost? 27. So it's 27, 28, 29, 30. There was no extra money in there. So it was a misleading attempt because a lot of people don't understand how to do math and counting money back. So basically, if the clerk were to count back money correctly, this is what the clerk would have done. The room costs $25, so there's 26, 27, 28. I'll keep the $2 tip, makes 30. But I misled you with the little thing saying, rather than them all paying $10 each for the room, they paid $9 each and the $2 tip. So what really happened is we just screwed up the order of operations in that problem. But just a fun little riddle. Something that you can convey to mom and dad, their grandparent, or whomever tonight, and say, we had a riddle in class. I have said that where I've seen people lay out 30 single dollars on the floor. And they're like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. And you're like, go ahead. I know. It was a calculus class, so I'm kidding. All right, do we have any questions from last night's homework? Where was what? Oh, I don't know. What? There was a problem that someone said that it was a goof up. 2 people have 2 different answers, but I don't know which one it was. Number 12. So number 12. Apparently, we have a couple of versions of this as far as the answers go. So let's double check it. It's an and. All right. So we have those 2 problems. So there, you have 2 different answers. You're claiming you see in the answer guide. Is that right? Yeah, come back. So let's see. 3/5 x is greater than 3. X is greater than or equal to 5. All right. And then this one, I'm going to subtract that. I get 4 is less than -4x. X is greater than -1. So I'm going to flip-flop this one. Hey, did this flip right here happen because I multiplied or divided by a negative? No, it's just because I rewrote the problem with the variable first. All right, so the claim is that we might have two different answers in the answer book. So I have to look at things. So I have -1 here, I have 0 here, and I have 5 here. Okay. So greater than -1. So this one's going this way. And then greater than or equal to 5. It's an AND problem, so what must take place? Overlap, okay. So one thing that we're trying to look at is if I were to plug values in down here, this would give me 2 false statements if I plug those back into the original problems. Does that make sense so far? If I plug anything in between here, that's going to give me a true on one of them and a false on the other. So this one would be true and this one would be false. And that would be perfect if it was an OR problem. Does that make sense how I'm stating that? If I plug, like if I take 0 and plug it in here, and I plug 0 in here, one of them is going to give me true and one of them is going to give me false. But because it's an AND problem, they both have to be true. If it was OR, it could go the other way. And then if I plug, say, 6 in to both of them, so something over here, this would give me true here, this would give me true here. So that's where the region has to exist. Yeah, question?
Isn't -1 greater than x on
Which one is
that?
Yeah, you switched the sign.
I switched to this one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it should be this, right?
Yeah.
So it is? Oh my gosh. No wonder else. So that means that should have been going this way, right? Doesn't go there. So that means I have a true false, I have a false false, and then I have a false true. So the AND means that everything has to work, so it is no solution, or the old empty set. Oh, thanks for catching that, man. I appreciate that. 8th grade never looks out for me. They just let me just ramble on with the same errors. It's borderline. Of course, they're watching the video later today going, why is he ripping on 8th period? So I don't rip on 3rd period ever. Good. No. You guys are like the rhinestone cowboys and cowgirls of this school.
Oh.
You want to be where the lights are shining on you. If you don't know the song Rhinestone Cowboy, I suggest you learn it. All right. What other questions have we come across on our assignment? Yeah.
Let's do 6.
6. Oh, I'm scared of 6. Number 6, I have -15 over 4 x minus 2 is greater than 5 over 2 x plus 6. Okay. You know what I'm going to do first? I want to get rid of the denominators. So if I multiply all 4 terms by 4, we're going to clear it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if I multiply this by 4, this by 4, this by 4, this by 4, those cancel, so I get -15x minus 8. That becomes 2, so that's going to be less than 10x and plus 24. All right, let's bring this over. That's -25x over here. Greater than, if I add that, that's what, 33? 32? 32. Divided by -25. Down. So x is going to be sign flips because I divided by negative. So if I have 0 here, and if I have 1 here, this is about where our point exists. And we're going that way. So interval notation is going to go from -infinity to -32 25ths. 25. And that's a rounded bracket. Rounded. Cool? Anything from the back side? Yeah. 13. -2x minus 3 is greater than 3/5. We have an and statement there. And I have -x minus 3 is greater than or equal to -1/2. Okay. Working the first problem. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to work the first problem. I am just happy to get rid of denominators all day long, so just because I know people, they just don't like fractions. So I'm going to multiply everything by 5 here on this one. So I'm going to do this. Now I don't have a denominator to worry about. I'll have a denominator as part of the answer, but I don't have to manipulate things around. So add 15 to both sides. Is that 18? And then divide each side by negative 10. So that's going to give me negative 1.8 and the sign flipped over. There's one answer. All right, this one, I'm going to get rid of the denominator as well. I'm going to multiply everything by 2. 2x minus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 1. Add the 6 to both sides. So that's now going to be 5. And then I'm going to divide by the negative, so that sign flips over. So 5 over 2 is negative 2.5, right? Alright, so this is an and problem, so let's see if we can see if it overlaps. So if I have negative 1.8 here, I have negative 2.5 here, so 1.8 is going this way, and negative 2.5 is a solid dot. Going this way. Okay. All right. So, did all my signs check out? Yeah.
So if you want, you can leave it as a fraction in the final answer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this region here is the only region that's going to give us the both true statements because it's an and. So it's going to go from negative infinity to negative 2.5, and it's going to be a square bracket because there's a solid dot. This region right here doesn't allow us to have true and false, or that has to be true in order for it to work because it's and. One last question. Anything else on either side? Going once, twice. We're good. Make sure your name is at the top of that assignment. Please pass it on forward. If you have any other assignments, please pass those forward as well.
Disqualified as
And then also coming back out to y'all is your old assignment. So find yours in the pile, pick it up. Someone asked, what should we do with all of our own homework? Well, one, I'd make sure that I have it in the grade book appropriate. And if I do, then it really becomes your choice what you want to do with it. And again, if you're the student that's like, I'm just going to recycle everything, that's you, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. All right, here we got some notes. Wait a few seconds and then pass that back so make sure it gets completed. 6.
It's a 3-1.
Good. All right. So we got some notes for today. Again, these are a hole punch for you. If you're the person that puts them into a 3-ring binder, awesome. All right. So it says here, Apply algebraic methods to real-world solutions. Algebraic steps. Define or identify the variable. Obviously, or I think most of you know that a variable is a letter or symbol used to represent a number, right? And then write an equation or an inequality using the variable, okay? So an equation will have equal sign, inequality will have greater than or less than with the equals as well. And then solve the equation and then clearly label your answer. This is where we're at. Everyone good? Yep. All right. There we go. Oh, sweet. We have a story problem. I can't wait to find out what happens. Okay. The bill for a landscaping at a new coffee shop includes the cost of plants and the cost of labor. Okay. 3 landscapers worked 5 hours each and earned the same hourly wage. The cost of the plants is $524, and the total bill was $816.50. How much did each landscaper earn per hour? Okay, so maybe we'll call the landscapers, we'll call them X. Sound good? I would do an L, but my L start looking like a 1, and you're like, where'd that 1 come from? Alright, so how much money are you paying even before the landscapers even showed up? Why is that? Yeah, so the plants are costing you $524. That's your constant. As far as linear equations go, that's where it crosses the y-axis, 0, 524. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then it says each of the landscapers worked 5 hours each. So a landscaper is X. Well, 5 times X is how much they worked. We would more than likely have to add that value. And then the total bill, once the day of work is done, here's your bill. Your bill comes out to $816.50. Okay? All right, so if you have calculators, this would be a really good time to utilize them. If you need to borrow a calculator, on the right side of the cabinet, just give it a yank. There's a pack of calculators in there. It's up to you. And the reason why I asked you to do calculators is because I don't feel like doing basic subtraction and division in this class right now. Okay, so does everyone agree that I would do what to both sides? Subtract the 524, so we're going to subtract the 524. Now y'all have the calculators on you, so this should be a little easier. So 816.50, or just 0.5, subtracting 524 is what? How much? 292.5. Awesome. And we'll carry to the second decimal because we're dealing with money. Is it wrong if you don't? No, not really. And then what should I do to get x all by itself? Divide by 5. So divide 292.5 by 5. And what do you get? 58.5. 58.5. So,
Wait, 5 workers or 3 workers?
oh, good call.
Well, that's the hour.
Wouldn't it be
So what is this? What did I just find? What did I just find here?
the cost of an hour?
For what?
3 workers.
3 workers, right? Does everyone get that?
So you divide that by 3.
Oh, good deal. So being that X was each individual worker, that means we had 3 workers. So we really have to divide that by 3. So what is 5850 divided by 3? How much? 19.5. Cool. So each of the workers, does everyone understand why we just did that?
Yeah.
So by us solving this gave us the total labor per hour. And being each person makes the same amount per hour, we have to realize there's 3 of them. Okay? So make $19.50 an hour. That's not a bad problem. Does that seem like an application that might really be something that could happen out in the real world? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of times. I did roofing for one summer in Arizona. And it was between my sophomore and my junior year in high school. The problem is, roofing in Arizona in the summer, you get out to the job site at 4 in the morning. And you work until 10 in the morning, and then you're done. I mean, and even at that point, you're like, now please understand this. There were days in Arizona that the low temperature was 105 degrees at night. It was a scorcher. I grew up in Arizona. I remember I was a salesman for a car wash, lube and oil, and detail shop. And they always wanted us in shirt and tie and slacks because we represented. Actually, I made a lot of money doing it. I actually put myself through college doing it. But there was 2 days in a row that it was 122 degrees both days as a high temperature. And that, I don't know if you know this, but temperature is always measured in the shade. Okay? It was hot. I mean, everything, all you smelled was just radiators everywhere because everyone's car is running way hotter. Whew, it was hot. It was so hot that they actually had to shut Sky Harbor Airport for 2 days in a row because the airplanes were only rated to land at 120 degrees. So now they've actually taken the airplanes over to the Middle East where they're getting temperatures that are closer to 130 range, and they tested the airplanes over there. So now it's about 130 degrees that airplanes can land in. But this was just, they weren't sure. They were probably like, you know what, I'm pretty sure we could land the airplane, but we're carrying a whole bunch of people. So they had to divert a whole bunch of flights. The airport's closed for 2 days in a row from like noon until 6. The airport was closed. So that was crazy. I don't know if you've ever dealt with hot, but I don't know why I got onto that subject with this, but who cares? I'll move on. I'm off task. You just direct me if I need to. All right. Ooh, car salesman earns a flat $200 a week, plus gets 2% commission on any sales made. Okay. 1 week, the amount earned was $2,760. How much were the car sales that week? Okay, hang on. How much were the car sales that week? Okay, so no matter what, the salesman's getting $200 in his pocket. Sell a car or not, $200. And then they get 2%. What 2% is a decimal is what? 0.02. And then how much were the car sales? So maybe we'd call it that. I think we could do this. 0.02C. C will represent car sales. Is that okay? See how cool that was? That was easy. All right. 2760. It's this amount right here. All right, so subtract 200 out. I'll do this one. You probably don't need a calculator for this one. I'll need it for the next step. All right. What should I do? Divide by 0.02. Good. So now I'll need a calculator. Can someone go 2560 divided by 0.02, please?
128,000.
That? So $12,800. So the car dealership. No? Oh, there's a third zero?
Yeah.
Okay. $128,000 was sold. Wow. They get lots of 2% of that. Plus the 200 on top. Okay. Well, you had to pay for other things at the dealership, I imagine. A quick question. I don't know. Let's say this car salesman sold that amount every week. So will someone go 2760 times 52? Because there's 52 weeks in a year, right? I just don't know what it comes out to.
665,600.
How much?
143 grand.
143?
Yeah.
That's pretty good walking around money. If that person's able to establish that, wow, okay. That's good. I like that. Maybe. All right. The cost of two sweatshirts. The cost of two sweatshirts with the same price. So you bought a sweatshirt for 50 and you bought another one for 50. Like this is what it's doing. They said is $77.16, and you have a tax rate of 7.2%. So first off, let's make this a true decimal. What is 7.2% as a true decimal? Yeah, 0.072. So remember, move the decimal 2 places to the left. That confuses a lot of students because like, oh, convert it to a decimal. It's like, well, there's already a decimal there. You're absolutely right, but you don't want the percent sign any longer. All right. How much does one shirt cost? What do you think? There's a couple of ways we can do it, I think. Okay. Yeah.
Did you divide it by 2 and then divide 77.16 by 2 and then
Okay, because it would be the same tax rate, right?
yeah.
So you're paying 7.2% on one shirt, and you're going to pay 7.2% on two shirts, right? So, so you're saying if I divide that by 2, that's going to give me the price of just one shirt. That would also include the tax.
Yeah, and then you do
divide it by-
times point.
Well, help me out. What's 77.16 divided by 2? Total.
Wait.
That's why I'm using calculator. 30 what?
38.58.
38.58. Okay, that's how much one shirt plus tax. Right? Okay.
And then you divide it by. Or no.
Multiply
Multiply it then subtract that from the total. Or from not the total, on the 38.
So, I mean, there's a number of ways you can do this, and I'm just trying to let you guys guide us on it, which is great. What would happen, so let's just play around with this for a sec. What would happen if I took 0.072 and I multiplied it times this? It becomes smaller, okay. Is that a way to go about this problem? But what does that get me?
your tax.
That would get the money value of tax, right?
And you
Oh, and then you
subtract
yeah.
that from that price and add the tax.
Yeah. Oh, hey, stop. Flip around. Catch up. There we go. All right, so eventually I'm going to have to do this as some sort of subtraction problem for this. So I think if these are multiplied together right now, that's not an X, that's a multiplication sign. So just for the heck of it, what's 38.58 times 0.072?
2.77.
2.77.
Exactly.
2.78. Yeah.
Well, if I multiply it by 2, that's how much you paid for tax for both shirts. But now we got down to only one shirt right here. All right, help me out. 35.8. So each one of our shirts was $35.80.
Kind of an expensive sweatshirt.
Well, it depends where you went. I don't know. I don't know. If you go over there to that Old Navy, you probably get it for $8. But
They're on Lululemon, man. That's a great deal.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Huh? Hey, can we move to the next story problem? See where we're at?
Yeah.
All right. Uh-oh. And I actually just saw that the federal government is trying to lower the rate to be a long-haul trucker to 18 because there's such a shortage of long-haul truckers. So any of you that are coming up on the age of 18 and want to drive across the United States, something that's about the size of Delaware, this might be for you. Face all leather. Here we got one arm that's all red all the time. The other arm. Alright,
Prospect.
so let's see. Ready? It says a long haul truck driver must drive at least 540 miles tomorrow. So that'd be Friday. Okay. Be sure he meets his delivery deadline. He drove 300 or 234 miles before taking a break, so that there's 540 miles this person has to drive. There's 234 that took place. So let's first off find out how many miles left this person would have. So we add those together. So what do you get? 306. Okay, so that's how many miles are left. Okay, but that's not the answer. It gives a little bit more what's going on here. So how long will he need to drive to meet his target if he can only average 54 miles per hour for the section of roads he is on? Oh, okay. So let's see. We're going to do a little dimensional analysis. Anyone know what this is?
Yes.
54 miles per hour. Make sense? So, make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think? Where should we go with it? So he has 306 miles left. And then that's going to be hours down there. So that's the old crisscross applesauce, or products of means equals products of streams, or cross multiplication. So basically, what he needs to do is 54 times x is time. So 54x equals 306. Help me out. 5.7 hours.
Yep.
How much is 0.7 of an hour? 40 minutes. You get that by going 0.7 times 60. 42 minutes. 5 hours, 42 minutes. Huh. Or 5.7 hours. Well, that's just what he's saying. He can average 54 miles an hour. We're not taking into account a whole bunch of other variables, but you're absolutely right. There are other things that could indeed take place on the roadway. Come on. There we go. All right. That's true. How many more slides I got? Like 20?
One.
This is it? Oh, one more, be honest. This is it? Oh, dude. All right. Oh, this is going to be cute. You have a photo of friends that you want to frame. Oh, I prefer just looking at my cell phone. And I'm just kidding. The dimensions of your photo are, okay, I have to draw this picture because I don't understand. The dimensions of your photo are 12 inches by 18 inches. Oh, this is going to be a nice photo. Oh, something from the summer. Remember summer? It was like 4 days ago. I know. Oh, but look, now we're going to decorate it. You decide to put this mat around the outside of this. Oh, this is really going to frame things in. Oh, this is special. This is special moments, right? So you decide to put a mat around. It has a uniform border. Means the board, it's the same border. You know, if it's a 2-inch border on top, it's a 2-inch border on the side, 2 inch on the bottom, 2 inch on the other side. And then they tell you that the perimeter of the mat, so inside of the mat is the photo, right? Okay. So let's see. This is what our scenario really is doing, right? Something like this. And if we know that this right here is 12 by 18 inside, and it's a uniform distance, how far is this distance there got to be? And how far would that distance have to be? It has to be the same. So I don't know what it is, so I'm going to make it a variable. So I'm going to make that an x, and I'm going to make that an x, and then I'm going to make, that's the same distance there and there, right? So that also has to be an x, and that has to be an x. So how long would this distance from here to here have to be, accounting for the 12 and the x's? How?
Plus 12.
So think about this. I have x right here, x plus
2x
x,
plus
2x
2x plus
plus 12.
12. So this region here is 2x plus 12.
Equals
And then how long is this distance here? Again, we're
2x
2x
plus 18.
plus 18. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we could do this. All right, well, let me move this down a smidge. So I took geometry once, and I know that the perimeter equation of a rectangle is this. Agree? And they told us that the perimeter is 80. All right, so I'm going to go 80 is equal to 2 times the length, so the length is this, plus 2 times the width, and the width was what? 2x plus 12? Did I do that right? Does everyone feel comfortable with it? That should say 80 if I do things correctly. All right. Help me out. What do? We could do a few things. I mean, we could go ahead and distribute if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I could probably get away with this. This might be something that people didn't see. If I divide this by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, I get this. What do you think? It's going to give me the same answer regardless. Doesn't matter. Let's see. So that's 40 equals 4x plus 30. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Subtract 30. That's 10 equals 4x. So x is equal to 10 over 4, which is 5 over 2, which is 2.5 inches. What do you think? We good? Hey, is it almost time to go? Is it really?
Yeah.
Gosh, you know, this time always flies with you guys. You guys are such cool kids.
That's better.
Best kids ever. Don't tell 8th period I said that because they're going to be all jealous. All right, so your assignment for tonight is going to be,
1D.
yeah, it's 1D, which is page 9 and 10. Sound good? Everybody happy? Hey, will someone get my cell phone too once you get yours? Mine's the one that has the wire attached to it. Like what?